It ain't a day that I don't go by that I don't think, man, I was a monster.
Kenneth Allen got caught, got convicted, and served 4 years in prison for his involvement in one of America's largest known arson conspiracies. He had become known as someone who could help a property owner solve a problem.
People was trying to get out from under mortgages, and rather than lose it, they'd rather have a fire, pay off the mortgage, and be left with what they got.
In 1999, Allen set his first fire. He burned his garage down to the slab.
I might have knocked a kerosene can over and lit it.
Did they investigate?
I don't know what they did. It was brewed an electrical fire.
Federal agents and insurance investigators blamed Kenneth Allen and his sister for starting 60 intentional fires. And throughout the arson epidemic, investigators failed to connect the dots. In one intentional fire, investigators never questioned the $310,000 insurance payout on a home valued at only $85,000.
There would never be an investigation. They'd put it out, accidental fire, electrical fire, and boom, go on.
Our Scripps News national investigation led a year-long effort to determine the true rate of arson in America. According to the federal agency that collects data on fires from across the country, only 5% of building fires in the U.S. are intentionally set. But the Scripps News investigation of 30 major U.S. cities found widespread and significant errors in how fire departments detected and reported arsons. 9 cities, including New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, Indianapolis, Memphis, Houston, Phoenix, San Diego, and Los Angeles, detected 2,754 deliberately set fires. Yet these departments reported only 652 arsons to the federal government.
I have very little faith in all fire statistics in this country. The way they're collected, the way they're reported, there's gross errors in the entire system.
Our Scripps News investigation into federal records found that 56% of America's fire departments didn't report a single act of arson. These tended to be small to mid-sized departments. And there is no penalty for sending the government incomplete or inaccurate data. The U.S. Fire Administration has given out $4 billion in grants to participate in the program without penalties for sending inaccurate information. The agency does not audit the reporting. And all the while, buildings burned, people died and were injured, while taxpayers foot the bill for a grossly distorted picture of the nation's arson problem.
The majority of all fire agencies do not investigate probably half their arsons. They don't even go to the scene.
Muncie, Indiana had become a textbook example of an easy place for Kenneth and Vanessa Allen to get away with arson. The fires continued undetected for nearly 2 decades. Industry experts and insurance investigators call arson one of the most underreported and under-resourced crimes in America. Experts say arson goes undetected and unreported for many reasons, including a shortage of trained arson investigators, lack of resources and training, and firefighters worry they are going to get in trouble if they make the wrong call.
There's this perception that the insurance company might come in behind them and say a different cause, and people don't like to be wrong.
Initial responders and fire investigators who lack the background to make the right call will more than likely declare the origin and cause as undetermined rather than arson.
To take a firefighter who's been on the job for 20 years fighting fire and make him an arson investigator, the most technical, difficult crime to investigate at the fire scene, and expect him to be a criminal and arson investigator overnight without intense training, that's a crime in itself.
As an example of the national reporting problem, Indianapolis last year investigated more than 400 intentionally set fires. The arsons damaged and destroyed more than $6.3 million worth of property. Yet, according to the same Scripps News investigation, Indianapolis reported 0 arsons to the National Fire Incident Reporting System. Insurance companies base their rates on dollar losses and not on the number of intentionally set fires. Even someone who has never had a fire in their lifetime will pay higher premiums to cover the fraud of others.
I'd say every insurance premium you pay in the first couple $100 are to fight fraud.
The National Association of State Fire Marshals will release a report early next year with recommendations on how to close the gap in fire investigations and reporting. This with the belief that greater public awareness might reduce the risk of someone using arson to profit at the public's expense.
Rather than lose their house, they do that. And it's still happening. I mean, you got to be realistic. It's still happening.
For Scripps News, I'm Jack Reinhardt.
So, how do you tell a fire was set on purpose? Right now on WCPO.com, we have 10 telltale signs of arson. Click on this house, as I just did, and it will show you what to look for.